Welcome everyone. Today I'll be taking a look at this Cerakote ceramic headlight restoration kit, which I plan on using on my daughter's 2014 Chevy Impala Limited. Let's go ahead and get this box opened up and see what we have inside. Here's everything that comes within the box. As you can see here, it is a pretty well laid out system where they have step 1, step 2, and step 3. Step 1 is your oxidation remover. Step 2 is your prepare surface. And then step 3 is your ceramic clear coating, and really everything you need to restore and protect your headlights. Included in the box, as seen earlier, is this handy instruction sheet. And for step 1, you want to clean your headlights using some soap and water or some car soap and water. Just make sure you get all the soap rinsed back off. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and apply these very nice, tight-fitting gloves. Well, if you have normal size hands or small hands, these should be pretty good. But if you have larger hands, it will be somewhat tight, but workable. And then you're going to go ahead and use these included oxidation remover wipes. They say to use all of them up, and they give you 8 of them, so I'll use 4 per headlight, even though the oxidation on this car and on these headlights is not bad. But you know, you're not going to really save half of a kit for another car, so I'm going to use them all up. And you're just going to pretty much wipe down your headlights. They're going to get yellowed up, they're going to get kind of nasty. You're going to go ahead and once that happens, go to the next wipe, continue until you've used all 4 per side, and it should look relatively cloudy when you're done. You're going to want to rinse that off and then proceed to the next step. With step 1 completed, we can remove our fancy forensic gloves and proceed to step 2. And for step 2, we'll be using this rubber ducky looking sanding block. And you'll also want to make sure you have a bottle of some fresh clear water or a garden hose. And inside the packaging with the little rubber ducky sanding block is going to be 2 color pads, red and gray. We'll begin with red. You can actually just apply it on here. You want to get a garden hose or your spray bottle. Get the headlight real nice and wet. Get the little rubber ducky pad here nice and wet. And we're going to be sanding the headlight. Make sure you do not sand onto the paint, as you will damage it. So if you need to put painter's tape or something around there, that might be a good safety precaution. And we're going to go ahead and get that sanded down. We'll do 2 or 3 minutes with the red, 2 or 3 minutes with the gray, rinse it off real well, and we'll proceed from there. Completed sanding on the driver's side headlight, which is the only one I'm working on right now. And they say it should look a little cloudy when you're done. And you know, it does look a little cloudy, not too bad, but you need to dry it completely. So if you have to use multiple towels or whatever, something that's not going to scratch it, you want to dry it real well. The headlight and pretty much everything around it, you cannot have any water or any kind of wetness there. And then once we're done with that, we can move to step 3, which will be applying the ceramic clear coat, and should give us that nice crystal clear finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing dried up, and then we'll come back and get that ceramic coating applied. Finished up drying off the headlight, and you can see it is quite cloudy now that it's dry. And I did notice initially when I dried it off, I actually used a leaf blower and then a fluffy microfiber towel. But I did notice some spots that were still shiny, not completely cloudy. And the instructions do mention that if you see that, go ahead and just continue a little bit more of your sanding prep. So I wet it down, did some more sanding, and then I re-dried it. And now it's got the nice uniform cloudiness of the entire headlight assembly. So I can proceed to step 3. Step 3. Be sure to note the warning there in that white background strip where my thumb is. This must be completely dry, including around the headlight. The chemical, I guess, in this coating is incompatible with water, and you can potentially destroy your headlight housing. At least that's what it says here. So you better safe than sorry. That's why I use a leaf blower, hit it real good, then I hit it with a towel, and it should be about as dry as it can be with a nice uniform clouded look from the sanding. And then for step 3, you're going to put on another set of your forensic gloves here. They actually give you 2 sets in the kit, which is nice. And then you're going to want to apply your Headlight ceramic clear coating. And it does mention to go horizontally, top to bottom, and you want to do a 50% overlap. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it, and then go down halfway, below that first wipe streak, and then wipe over it. So you're overlapping by 50%. Wipe, 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 wipe. Work your way all the way down to the bottom, and then you must let it sit for a minimum of 60 minutes. Do not get it wet. Do not have rain on it. Do not splash it. Do not work on another headlight and splash it from overspray. You can cause problems, potentially damaging your housing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff applied. Hopefully I don't mangle anything. Now, it does mention if you do get some on your paint, here, you can wipe it up with a dry towel, like a microfiber, and you'll be fine. Now, you wanna make sure you get it up. I'm not sure, if it'll do anything. If you leave it on there long term, just make sure you wipe it up. Don't get it wet, and we're gonna go ahead and get this thing applied. It's been a little over an hour as they suggested, and it looks nice and dry, but you can check out the clarity of the headlight. Super clear. I mean, it's not perfect. I do see, some areas that are a little bit faded. Maybe you can pick up in the camera or not. Like right here, I probably needed to do maybe a little bit more sanding, but I mean, the comparison, I'm gonna kind of block my lighting here for a second. I'm gonna walk over to the unfinished one, which I have not worked on yet. And you can see this is just, it looks even worse than I remember by looking at the refinished one with the kit compared to this one, which is just straight nasty. I mean, it's faded, yellow, gross. Yeah, I mean, huge difference overall in just how these two turned out. And maybe you can see it here, kind of side by side. I'll try to cut the lights and then maybe flip on the headlights real quick just to see if I can see, a big difference in the light output. So we'll take a look at that, and then off camera, I'm gonna knock out this one, and we'll wrap this video up, and I can give you my overall opinion of the entire kit. All the lights on my home are off, and then the headlights of the vehicle are on, just to show you guys just how super clear this light throw is. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, of course, on video here, but in person, it's definitely an upgrade. You can see it looks much cleaner. If we go over here to this one, this is the unfinished one, and it just zoomed in, it's just crusty looking. It just looks almost like you're looking through an old fogged up aquarium or something like that. Definitely not the best looking. Now the light output, I can't say for sure if there's a huge difference. I'm gonna say there's definitely a little bit of difference, but this is kind of a stepping stone upgrade, because next I will be adding LEDs to the brights and the headlights on this vehicle, and I wanted to do that in pretty much the most optimal situation, which means really the best, cleanest, clearest headlight housing, which of course is important. You don't want to upgrade the LEDs and just leave them in some nasty, yellowed out looking, old, funky looking headlight housing. So that's why, one of the main reasons I did this upgrade. Super easy, super easy. I mean, without filming, this is probably a 10-minute, 15-minute job, maybe 20 minutes to do both. And then maybe Of course, then you have to wait an hour or so before you can drive it or get it wet. So really that's time you just wait. You're not actually actively doing anything. And the overall clarity is just huge. Spend the time, make sure you sand it really evenly, really well, and you'll have the best results. Mine's a little bit, I would say it's a 98% improvement. I have a little bit, probably could have done a little bit better sanding, but it is what it is. From what it was before, it's huge. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the other headlight now in the dark, and then we'll come back, take a look at both of them looking fresh, and we'll wrap this one up. Just wrapped up the passenger side restoration. As you can see, looks just as clear as the driver's side over there. And overall went great. This one's actually still drying, so I'm gonna have to wait about an hour minimum. I would recommend probably an hour and a half just to be safe, maybe 2 hours before you drive it, especially if you have any chance of hitting a puddle, sprinklers, rain, whatever, just so you don't want to ruin your work and your progress with these headlights. That concludes the full restoration of the headlights on my daughter's 2014 Chevy Impala Limited. And really, this process and kit should work on any vehicle headlights. Unless you have some kind of weird ridge textured headlights, this probably would not work because of the sanding. And so far, super happy with the results. Can't really complain about anything other than the sanding pad kind of coming loose from its felt backing and making it a little bit more difficult sanding than probably it should be. But the perk and bonus of this being a complete toolless kit, you don't need any kind of special tools other than just a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of time, and not really that much time, and you get some great results that should be maybe not permanent, but very long lasting with that clear coating. And it definitely will be much better than the old trick with the toothpaste and a rag and scrubbing it down, which may kind of have worked in the past for a few weeks to a few months. This should last for years. And so I will report back if I notice it not holding up. I think it should. I'm pretty confident that it'll hold up long term, but keep an eye in the comments. I'll pin a note if I notice, hey, it starts to fade or it starts yellowing again much sooner than it should. I'll let you guys know on that. Now, for the cost, 15 bucks. I mean, I don't know if you can really beat it. The price is great. Maybe 30 minutes of total time of actual work to get it knocked out. And yeah, I mean, the price, the performance to the results, really top notch. Super happy with it. My daughter's extremely happy with it. And this will actually be a stepping stone to my next video, which will be where I install LEDs for the low and high beams. I wanted a nice clear housing to be having that light cast through, which now I have, no longer looking like an old moldy fish tank. And so I think that'll be really a great 1-2 step on significantly improving the lighting of this car, because before, I mean, you couldn't really see where you were going, and it made this car kind of dangerous to drive at night. So now that shouldn't be an issue. So if you guys like this video, feel free to subscribe, comment if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer any and all of them. Check out my website, Zilla.com. That's Z1LLA.com. Also have a merch shop on there, tumblers, some clothing, whatnot, some fun stuff. Feel free to pick those up. My wife is actually the one that makes all these, and with a little bit of help from me. And she's definitely looking for some excitement, knocking out these products. So yeah, as always, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great one.